My name is Helen. I'm 73 years old, and tonight, I think someone is standing outside my house. I've never told anyone this before. Not my husband, not my children. For over 50 years, I stayed silent because I convinced myself it didn't matter. But now, I don't think that's true anymore. It started when I was 20. It was summer, late, quiet, the kind of night that feels like it could last forever. My boyfriend and I had driven out to a lake just outside the city. There were a few cars scattered around the parking lot, other people doing what we were doing, talking, sitting, existing. We'd been there for a while when I noticed him. He was walking across the lot, slow, steady, but something about it felt wrong. It took me years to understand why. He wasn't relaxed. He was pretending to be, the kind of calm that feels practiced, forced. As he got closer, I stopped listening to anything else. I was just watching him. When he passed our car, he turned his head and looked straight at me, not a glance, a stare. It felt deliberate, like he had already decided to look at me before he even got there. And then he smiled. Not friendly, not awkward, not human in the way normal smiles are. It was quiet, satisfied, like he had just made a decision and was pleased with it. Then he looked away and kept walking. I remember telling my boyfriend that something about him felt wrong. He barely reacted. By the time he looked, the man was already gone. We left not long after, and the next morning, everything changed. There was news about that parking lot, about one of the cars that had been there that night. Something had happened. Something serious. I'm not going to describe it, but I will say this. It stayed in the news for a long time, and I knew, without being able to explain how, that the man I saw had something to do with it. But I said nothing. I told myself I hadn't seen anything important, just a man walking, a look, a smile, so I stayed quiet. Years passed. I built a life, got married, had children. I worked most of my years as a teacher. Nothing unusual, nothing dangerous. I liked things that were predictable. Quiet mornings, the same routine every day, and my garden. I spent hours out there, planting, watering, fixing small things. It sounds simple, but that's what I wanted. A simple life. A life where nothing like that night would ever happen again. Everything was normal, safe, but that night never really left me. Sometimes I'd think about it, for no reason. That smile, the way he looked at me, like he remembered me before I even knew him. And then, 3 months ago, something changed. The first letter arrived on a Monday. No return address, just my name on the front. Inside was a photograph of me, taken from across the street. I was walking toward my house. I had no idea that anyone had been there. On the back it said, "Still here." I remember sitting at the table, staring at it, trying to explain it. A mistake, a coincidence. But deep down, I already knew. A week later, another letter came, another photo. Closer this time. I was in my garden, kneeling by the flowers. On the back, "You never said anything." That's when the feeling started. That heavy, quiet feeling in your chest, when something you buried comes back. The letters kept coming, every week. Photos of me, taken without me noticing, at the mailbox, at my front door, once, through my window, each one with a message. I remember that night. I remember you. I've been patient. I started locking everything, doors, windows, earlier than usual. I stopped sitting near the windows at night, but it didn't matter. 4 days ago, I got another letter. Inside was a photo of me asleep in my chair, taken through the window, close enough to see my face clearly. On the back it said, "You should have told someone." I called the police. They took it seriously, but not the way I needed them to. They told me to stay inside, lock everything, call again if anything changed. So I did. And tonight, something changed. At around 9:30, I looked out my front window and I saw him standing at the edge of my yard, completely still, just watching the house. I called the police again. They said they'd send someone. That was hours ago. He hasn't moved. It's almost midnight now. I'm sitting in the dark, watching him watch me. The streetlight barely reaches the edge of the yard, but it's enough. Enough to see the outline of his face. He hasn't moved, not once. No shifting, no stepping forward, no hesitation, just standing there. Like he's been there much longer than I've noticed. My hands are shaking. I didn't realize it at first, but they won't stop of it. My breathing feels wrong, too fast, too shallow. Like I can't get enough air into my lungs, and my heart, I can feel it in my throat. I keep telling myself, it could be someone else, but I know it isn't, because even from this distance, I can see it. That smile, it's faint, almost lost in the dark, but it's there, the same one, after all these years. And then, something worse happens. He moves, not forward, not away, just enough to tilt his head, like he's looking past me into the house, behind me, and that's when I hear it. A sound right behind me, not loud, not sudden, just a slow shift, like weight pressing into the floor. My whole body locks. I can't move. I can't turn around, because the man outside is still standing there, still watching, still smiling. And if he's still outside, then whatever made that sound is already inside with me.
My name is Alex. I live alone. A small apartment, 3rd floor, old building. I've always liked it that way. Quiet, predictable, safe. I never thought anything could happen to me until 3 weeks ago. A Wednesday, around 3 a.m. My phone rang. Unknown number. I usually ignore calls like that, but for some reason, I picked up. Silence. Then, a voice. It sounded like mine, talking, saying things I didn't say. Small things at first. The coffee I left on the counter, the spoon I dropped in the sink, my cat sleeping on the windowsill. I froze. I live alone. No one else could have known. I hung up, told myself it was a prank or a glitch. The next night, same number, around the same time. I tried ignoring it, but my phone kept ringing. This time, it described things I hadn't done yet. You'll spill your coffee tomorrow. You'll step on the loose floorboard by the door. You'll leave the bathroom light on. I thought I was losing it. I checked my phone for malware. Nothing. I changed my number, got a new phone, stayed at a friend's apartment for a few nights. It didn't matter. It found me. Then came the messages, photos, videos, clips from earlier in the day, me walking into the kitchen, checking the mail, brushing my teeth. No one could have known, not unless someone had been watching me. I searched my apartment, walls, closets, behind furniture. Nothing, not a single camera, not a single hidden device. It seemed strange to me. I never thought it would be possible. It did not feel real. I was positive I was not going insane. I tried the police. They suggested a hacker, told me to change passwords, lock doors, ignore it. It wasn't a hacker. It was personal. Then I started noticing small things around the apartment. The front door unlocked, even though I had locked it. My keys moved from the counter to the kitchen table. Even my cat seemed nervous, staring at corners of the room where nothing was. I started sleeping with the TV on, even though it kept me awake. I always liked the silence of the night. I stopped leaving notes for myself, afraid they would be copied or sent back to me 3 nights ago. It escalated. I woke to my phone buzzing on the nightstand. Unknown number. I didn't answer. Then I heard it. My own voice from the phone speaker, whispering my name. Alex. Turn around. Shivers ran down my spine. I froze. My apartment was dark, empty, except it wasn't. Footsteps. Soft, slow, coming from the living room. I wanted to scream. My hands shook. My legs felt heavy. Then the bedroom door clicked. I wanted to run. I couldn't. I thought about my neighbors, about calling for help. But if someone was in my apartment, it would be too late. I hugged myself, tried to calm my breathing, tried to think rationally. The phone slipped to the floor. Screen lit up. A single message. Did you answer? Or are you still listening? I don't know how long I stood there. I don't know what to do. Every night now, I sleep with lights on, lock doors, close blinds. I check windows every hour, check the cameras I installed. It doesn't matter. I can't seem to grasp who is doing this to me. Every day I try to think of how to protect myself, but still, the calls come, the whispers come. Sometimes I see shadows move in the corners of my apartment, shadows I don't cast. Last night I woke up to my phone ringing, unknown number. I didn't pick up. I heard breathing behind me, heavy, slow, deliberate. I didn't move. Then, a soft click from the bedroom door. I swallowed hard, my hands shaking. My phone slipped again. The screen lit up. A new message. You can't hide? I'm already here. I sat on the edge of the bed, tried to think, tried to convince myself it was a trick, but the sound of my own voice, coming from the phone, keeps echoing in my head. Every day I check the locks, check the doors, check the windows. Every day I hear my name whispered. I can't explain it. All I know is, it feels like someone is always watching, even now as I type this. I keep glancing at the shadows. I keep hearing my phone buzz, even though it's on the floor beside me. I check the time. 3:07 a.m. I know what that means. The next call will come, and I'll have to answer. I'm scared, but I know I can't ignore it. Not anymore. Because if I do, I don't know what will happen.